Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? Will Clarke here. Hope you're all doing good. So, this week on the show, I have my one and only good mate from Italy. However, he lives in LA, the one and only Bot. Love this guy. He's currently in the process of doing, I think, a production school on IO Academy. So, I got him on to talk about that. All the details are in the description below as well beforehand. We also talked about a bunch of other stuff, and it was a really good conversation. I love him to bits. Hope you enjoy the conversation. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Bot. How's it going, mate?
Very good.
Dude, I haven't spoke to you for ages. We usually do like at least once a month or like once every other month, like catch up in LA. We like cook some food on your in your kitchen looking over LA, or we go to what's that pizza place in LA we go to?
We usually went to Desano, but the best one was, did we ever go to L'Antica Pizzeria?
Yeah.
L'Antica is best.
It's good, but it's too expensive for fucking pizza, man.
Yeah. I never paid there. I cannot afford it myself. I only go with someone else.
You only go with rich friends because it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I thought the guys are from Naples. I tell them, like, guys, really? $20 for a margarita?
Yeah, sorry, but they're obviously clearly Italian dudes from Naples, and they're like, oh, LA, people have money. They're like,
yeah,
let's fucking.
And they're the only ones that do it actually the legit way. It's strange.
Does Desano not?
Desano, yes, but L'Antica is even more
authentic.
L'Antica is like an ancient pizza place in Naples.
Okay, I didn't
so
know
they
that.
play that card too, like, they're from 1800s.
Yeah,
and they only have 3 shops. Desano is more like a chain.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
A little bit, yeah. It's on the East Coast too.
Okay.
Craig Williams, by the way, just because we were worried that it was closed.
Yeah.
And today he found out that actually they were just temporarily closed because they had some COVID cases. So they're quarantining. But it's going to be open 14 days. So it's a relief.
Hasn't all of the restaurants closed down in LA again?
The dine-in, yes. But not since long. I feel today I was driving around, I think it's 3 days.
Yeah.
Because before you would see those signs, dine-in.
Yeah.
Available, and now no. Nothing. Now it's just curbside, and
Dude, it's crazy. They must be losing so much money.
I mean, I asked my landlord, who is like a restaurant chef guy in Orange County.
Yeah.
I asked him, like, can you give me a discount? It's difficult times, and he has it even worse than us.
Yeah.
Restaurant people. Because
Definitely.
they have to pay rent, they have to get the food there fresh anyways, and they don't know how much they're gonna sell. So it's difficult times for everyone.
Did you hear what they're doing in the UK? They've announced it today. I didn't know about it. Ryan, my manager, called me and was like, dude, have you heard what the UK is doing? And I'm like, no. And he's like, the government's giving food vouchers to everybody for the summer where they get like 50% off on like every restaurant just to get money back into the restaurant. So the government's going to pay 50% of the bill to the restaurant.
I think that's very smart. I think it's a good way to not, have it on people. Because then after this, if you're not helping people, you will find a disaster.
Yeah, man.
And in that way, it's kind of like spending a lot of money to spend way less later.
Yeah. No, so I totally agree.
It's really important to help people now, and
I think like
cheating, but it's just keep the money flowing in the economy. Because, and I personally file for all these like music relief things and stuff like that. I didn't get any.
Have you tried? Are you part of the musicians union?
Yeah, I tried a few, but you kind of have to, if you're a musician,
yeah,
it's just PA. It seems you only can try one.
Have you
They don't.
tried? Have you tried PRS?
No, I tried Music Relief, the Grammys one.
You should try PRS. They're doing quite a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, prsformusic.org. They're giving a lot away for people that
I'm
need it.
also doing unemployment,
Yeah, dude. I
and
I know a lot of people that are, and I know a lot of DJs that were.
unemployment is. I feel they're even giving too much money
Can
for
you
it.
get it? Are you?
I thought no. I thought no way in life I could get it.
Yeah,
And a friend of mine, because I'm in between green cards,
yeah,
and a friend of mine has, a person in their family that's in the same exact situation as me, and they're like, "I got it."
yeah.
So I applied. It seems I could get it.
That's
If I
great.
get it,
That's
I'm
great.
good.
Yeah, man.
If, so, but I think I don't know. It's strange. I think they have to help everyone.
Yeah,
And the unemployment here is strange because they give more money to people who earn more money.
yeah.
And but anyway, I keep positive. I think we're gonna get out of it. We're gonna get a vaccine, and and maybe it's gonna be good for all of us to have experienced this as a struggle, a not communal. I don't know how to say, but a struggle that we all can relate to, and we're all in this together. And it's a bit of a makes you rethink about how to
Life.
go forward. There's,
I think
of
this.
course,
I think this is a thing. I think it actually allows. For me, and it's something that I've always kind of been working on and trying to kind of build and things like that. And it's building a company outside of music, building an income outside of music, or not necessarily not necessarily completely not anything to do with music, but damn, there's fucking dust everywhere around here. It's like it's about building something within music that can uh bring revenue so that if shows don't happen,
yeah. I
we're
mean,
good.
that's what I think. Many musicians, they don't value themselves, the knowledge that they have, and
Yeah.
that's pretty advanced. I mean, because it's an artist scene, and it's not really being monetized
Yeah.
in a sense of hiring people. um it's not that they hire an engineer at a high level and then they
Yeah.
earn a lot of money, but it's kind of the same thing. So the music industry is kind of like people who are very, very knowledgeable. And I feel if you don't know how to make a song that maybe can get you revenue in terms of sales or shows,
Yeah.
shows don't are non-existing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You still should value your knowledge and try to find out alternative ways, because there are many.
So
And
okay, there are many, and like both you and I know that there are many, but it still comes to the point where, and I know you've been going more and more into this, but what are those options? What could somebody, if somebody was sat down here and they probably aren't necessarily, they haven't had shows, they don't have savings, but they are a great whatever producer, engineer, whatever is good for them. What could they do?
well, of course, it's tricky if you don't have a name at
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
because then you don't have any audience.
yeah,
So whatever you say I'm gonna do, it's very tricky.
yeah,
Um, so mainly I'm talking to people who have a little bit the foot in the scene,
yeah,
so that's a little bit easier. And what I'm saying is, don't get too discouraged, and try to find, even if you look proactively, and even if you're not famous, to be honest, but you're good, because there is kind of some thirst from companies to get sample packs and
yeah,
stuff like that. So if you're actually good at your craft, and that's, to be honest, that's, you have to begin with that,
yeah,
you know if you're not very good and you're winging it at something and it's arts, I'm sorry, very difficult. It's gonna be very difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
You might have to find alternative, jobs or ways. But I'm saying people who are professional, have been doing it for a while and know what they're doing. It's mainly just find ways and reach out, really, because it's amazing how much reaching out to companies
Yeah.
really yields results. And even Splice and many other companies are, if you're really good at doing sample packs, for example,
Yeah.
you can hit everyone up, and especially these days they're very happy to support you.
Yeah.
I found that. And that's mostly it. And if you're really good at producing and you can show that, if you're not famous, but just offer your services to people for a very cheap price,
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of, in times of need, you don't need to make the full. Even me, I've
Yeah.
been doing this for 2 decades.
Yeah, yeah.
If I ask for a mix down, I ask usually for a certain price in these times, and like, with that price I will give you a master too and as many changes as you want.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you can really afford it, make me an offer,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So you should be grateful to make any money out of your craft
Yeah,
these
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't have to sell yourself too short. But what I'm saying is, instead of just sitting there and waiting for big money, if you're really passionate about this art and this craft, and you really think this is gonna be your life, maybe hang in there
Yeah.
and try to make work for less money, more work. But it requires hanging in there. It's not gonna be easy. You know that.
Dude, I
It's
think
not
that's the thing is like, realistically, when we started doing what we're doing, we didn't earn money.
zero.
And for me, if let's say, for instance, like right now, where a lot of the industry, a lot of industries, not just music, but a lot of everything, are just not earning anything. And then I was talking on the last podcast with Gene Ferris about this actually, and how it's about, we do our passion and we're happy to do our passion for. Cheers, man.
It's
Ching
the
ching.
same.
LaCroix. No, this is something else. I miss
Okay.
LaCroix. We do a passion because we absolutely fucking love it. And I think what happens is, I can only speak for myself, but I take things for granted sometimes where I am reasonably successful. I wouldn't say I'm fully successful, but in other people's eyes, I am successful.
Yeah.
But but it's, you take that for granted because you always think it's going to be there. And I think I've always known it, but for me, it's like, now this has fully confirmed it, that I also want something else on the side. And it's not because I'm worried that all my shows are going to end. And it's not because I don't think I'm good enough to make this work for the rest of my life. It's more so the case that I can make time to do other things, and I also can earn money doing other things. And if I have two sources of revenues from two different things, it then allows me to create more and give more to the world, and also gives me a more of a comfortable living. Not because I want to earn millions of dollars. That doesn't really appeal to me anymore. But it's more so about having that, not
You have
having
a
to.
freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
You really, like, I think what you're saying, to be honest, to me translates to you will have more artistic freedom
Yeah.
if you're not just like bound to having your revenue just being your shows and the revenue that comes from royalties of sales of your songs, you're kind of freer to make music that you actually just enjoy,
Yeah.
because you're not relying solely on that.
Yeah.
Of course, you're realistic and you're not going to make insane stuff, that nobody wants to hear. But maybe yes, who knows? But like that gives you the freedom, having a bit of financial independence. It's actually really a good place to be in arts, and it always was.
Yeah.
If you think, sorry to go a bit historical, but if you go like even like when did arts really flourish in human history? It was like when people had wealth
Yeah.
to pay artists to just be artists.
Yeah.
Because before, it's difficult to be an artist when you have to provide food on the table every day.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. So I think that's it.
Well, I think it's
If
about
one,
being good in business as well, isn't it? Really, like, let's be honest. I think a lot of artists, and maybe this is, I wouldn't say I'm the best person for it, but maybe this is something that could be really fucking amazing if anyone's out there to like to do like a business class in music for actual artists, because some of the best artists, some of the most talented people are fucking awful at business. And like,
I don't know if I'm one of the best ones, but I'm definitely in the category of awful at business.
yeah, and like I wouldn't say I'm that bad at business, but I'm not one of the best. But I I see so many mistakes that artists make, and I'd love to say to them, "What the fuck are you doing that for? Like, why are you going to spend 10 grand on a fucking bag and a first class ticket when you can put that in a bank and it can be a deposit of a house?" Like, you're not earning that much money. Like, save your fucking money for a rainy day, because you never know what the fuck's going to happen. Like, come on. Like, but the thing is that
Somebody should have told me that earlier.
yeah, but I think there could be something in that. There could be somebody that, like, I don't know how it would do it. Maybe it's like a YouTube thing, and I don't know. But I
Yeah, it
think
has to be a different way. Before, I think it was like people were making so much money that you just had to find a good manager. The manager would do it for you. That would get 20%. But also, you get so many horror stories.
yeah, well, we've all had them, right?
More horror stories than good stories, to be honest.
There's honestly, like, out of all of our friends, how many times have you heard, "Oh my god, I'm so happy with my manager"?
Yeah. Not so. I am right now.
Yeah, same, man. Like, I've got the best manager in the world right now,
I love it. I love
and
your manager.
and like,
Yeah, it's rare. Yeah, that's really rare. It's really rare because there's a disconnect. I wish there were more like, but even that, and you have a personal experience. I won't explore too much, but because my thing was like maybe more artists should be managers, but
yeah,
even that
I
doesn't always
think
work.
it's tough, because I think there's pros and cons, because having an artist manager, it depends really, because I think sometimes the artist manager isn't actually, they're either not an artist or they're not a manager, or they've not succeeded in one or the other.
That's the thing. If you get a bitter person who will succeed in something, and that's like
It's like,
the
yeah, it's like, no disrespect.
job that I have to do because that other stuff didn't work.
Yeah. It's
That's
like,
one.
it's like if you go to university, and this, no disrespect to anybody out there teaching in university, but it's like somebody teaching electronic music scene at university. It's like, well, have you actually experienced it? Like, have you worked in it? Have you, like, what have you achieved to then go and teach where somebody's paying 30 grand a year to go to? Like, what is your experience?
What are you teaching? What are you like?
Yeah.
Are you enhancing people's knowledge in a meaningful way?
Because that is the one
It's
thing I would stand by, is if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking about going to university for anything to do with music, art, anything, fucking don't go. Save your money, travel the world, buy some speakers, just do it.
I would agree 1,000% with that.
Like, why? I would. So in the UK, you have this thing called
Learn
college.
yourself.
Sorry,
It's not really difficult. Yeah,
what was
you
that?
can learn yourself making music. You can do yourself making music. It's really not difficult to learn on yourself.
No. Well, it is.
And
it is difficult, but if you really want to do it,
it just takes time.
If you really want to do it, you're gonna fucking do it because you love it.
Was it difficult? Like, it was really difficult to learn, but like, did we really? There's a lot of frustrating moments, but I enjoyed the whole
process
experience.
Yeah.
Learning it was part of it. I don't know if I went to a school. I'm conflicted because I'm doing a production class, and sometimes if I do a production class and it's on Zoom, and you see the people there, sometimes in the little screens,
Yeah.
and then you show them something, and you see in someone's face like they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, if I was you, I'm like, yeah, I just saved you 2 years because that's how long it took me.
Yeah.
So it's there's not like a general rule, but I think if you should go to a school maybe like a little later, not as the first thing, not as like, oh, I want to be a music producer, and you go to the school. It should be a bit more I'm gonna say it American way, organic.
Yeah.
Like, it should, it comes to you when you're like a young teenager.
Yeah.
You have a music.
See, like one of my friends, she's just went to Point Blank Music School, which I don't know if you've heard of them.
No.
But Point Blank's really fucking good, and they do. Pardon?
Is it UK?
It's in the UK. They've got one in Ibiza and they've got one in LA, I believe, now as well. But they do an online courses. They do loads of online courses and sit-in courses, and it's ran by proper music people, and it feels like one of my friends. She's like, I really want to get into producing, but I just don't know where to start. And I was like, the best bet if you want to learn quickly and you want to get the like foundations quickly for you to then just go and work on yourself, go do a Point Blank class. If you know what I mean, and they give you the foundations. But how much? That was like 500 quid. That's nothing.
500 quid is fine.
It's nothing. It's not 50 grand a year for a fucking shit bit of paper.
Are like $40.
Yeah.
For 5 days. 5 days, you get 40. For $40, you get 5 days, 90 minutes a day.
What's that on?
They're not Zoom. It's IO Music Academy.
Okay.
The school. But they're not using Zoom. We're gonna use something else.
Yeah.
Which I should know by now, but I don't. But it's a bit more efficient.
Yeah.
Because Zoom, we had some problems last time, and Zoom has a cap that's a bit low.
Yeah.
So we couldn't accommodate everyone last time. So this time it can be even more than 200 people.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So you're doing a class?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do it from. We're gonna all wear masks and follow the procedure, of course. But I'm gonna do it this time. It's gonna be from their room.
Oh, cool, man. That's so. It's gonna be like a live studio.
Yeah, and last time I did it from here.
Yeah,
I had to arrange my bed really nicely every day because it was in the bathroom.
So what you?
I did like a really
So what are you going to be teaching?
I don't have the papers here. Anyway, I remember. So I want to make it a little different. Not unfortunately, actually, like, as you know, everybody's always bass and kick. So first 2 lessons are about that, but are a bit more different and more about how to choose bass and kick, how to, find the tone, the tuning of your kick.
Yeah.
And see if it's a problem or not, creatively.
Yeah.
because a lot of people always want to tune everything, but you don't need to. It's a choice.
Yeah.
And so, find some examples, that in some cases, actually, yeah, if you tune it, it's great.
Yeah.
In some cases, actually, it's a bit worse because
Yeah.
it makes it a bit dull, especially if you tune it upwards. It's not great. So mostly the first two are bass, and also like exploring more how to sidechain in a way that's not uh, audible.
Okay.
That's kind of my thing
Yeah.
recently. Like, I don't want it to have that like
Duck. Yeah. Yeah.
no. And it's a lot of multi-band sidechain, but also in a creative way.
Yeah.
You don't have to always multi-band sidechain, and just teaching when to do what.
Yeah.
Because I think it's what I want to teach is like, you don't have to just have a system every time and it's always the same. It has to be meant to be for that particular occasion.
Yeah.
Not every song requires the same processing.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Let's learn to know what the processing is doing to your song, so you can choose when to use it way more effectively, and it's just on point, and it's not a technique that you just like randomly always do.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I wanted to teach mostly, is techniques, but also learn when to use them.
Dude, that's
It's
so
not
that's
always
that's so good, because I can even catch myself doing that, where I'm like, you just get it,
same at
you
times.
just get into that movement. It's like, oh, that worked the other day, so let's just do it on this, and then just do it on this, and then you find out that like the last 20 records you made, you've done the same thing, and you're just like, why am I doing this? And then you have to like, or I have
And
to
it
like stop
need to go
myself. Yeah, you
sorry.
have to stop yourself and go back and be like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm like just making the same record eventually, because when you use the same techniques, you end up just using the same sounds. And you just kind of go down this like hole of making the same shit, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
And really, it's even like a bit of therapy for yourself. You kind of like catch your own mistakes.
yeah,
Doing these classes, it's like I teach people, but I learn a lot.
yeah,
That's kind of a great thing about them. And also, I always have 30 minutes at the end. Ask me whatever.
yeah. I love
They
that.
always, they always go a bit longer because it's interesting for me.
I think it's also, how amazing is it being able to give back to people and like teach people what you've learned and what you know.
Yes, it's you have to be in that mindset where you're like, I really wish I had a person who
Yeah,
told me that, because I was in the dark for so long,
yeah.
especially where I grew up, and it was a bit earlier in, years ago. And some things I had no one to ask.
Yeah.
And it's how cool is it to tell people, save them time.
Yeah.
Because some people like have that feel that they want to keep their secrets from themselves. I think that's really
Yeah.
uncalled for. Just share all the knowledge you have. Uh, if you have it in you to do, great things, it's not because you share the knowledge that you learned that these people will, be better than you.
Yeah.
And if they will, that
Fuck.
would be actually great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I'm all for sharing every knowledge you have. I have no understanding of, oh, that's my technique, I worked for it. Or when also, even in DJing, when people like, well, IDs I don't tell people, and it's like, sure, you did a lot of work, but the kind of the basics of this scene is kind of sharing, to be honest.
Yeah, but so much of it isn't as well, because it goes back to like, can you remember like back in the day where people would like cover record, they'd like write over record on vinyl, like record sleeves. So like no one knew what it was, and it was like, I found this record, and like no one can know what it is.
I was selling vinyl back in the days. Some promos, like I was the king.
Yeah.
I remember selling, Chemical Brothers promos, and in those days, the promos, like it was in tune. Nobody will have it.
Yeah.
It's 10 copies in Italy.
Yeah.
20 in France, and and then you sell them. But I don't know. Did that make sense?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It was kind of. I don't know. There's a romantic part of it that I actually really like and miss.
Of the
But
vinyl.
I felt like a dick. Because, like, at the end of the day, we were just giving those records to the biggest DJs.
Yeah.
It's like, why? It should be music for everyone.
Well, it's still like that now, in the grand scheme of things. When it comes to promo and a record, it's you give it to the biggest DJs in hope that they're going to play it, and in hope that they're going to support it because they have a biggest following. They might play it at one of their shows. They play in front of tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people might listen to your record and might Shazam it, which then turns into streams, etc., etc. It's that whole kind of.
Nothing changed, to be honest. Yeah.
Nothing really has changed when it comes to promo.
Nothing really changed, except that you can email a feedback and not have to mail it.
And let's be honest, no one fucking feedbacks anymore, really.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't listen. I literally do not look at my promo email anymore.
It's been months, and my feedbacks, if I ever feedback because I want to download it, are the most useless feedbacks ever.
Dope.
No, they don't accept it anymore. I have to put dope space exclamation mark. Because dope exclamation mark doesn't work. They're like at least 2 words.
It's so bad because we all want everyone to feedback, but then we never feedback. I remember I used to. I
downloaded for Richie Houghton is fine still.
Everyone gets a download from Richie Houghton. Like that guy his folder, like whoever works at Richie Houghton to download his promos. Like he's supporting every record in the world right now, and it's hilarious. I don't know who is, but his folder must be ridiculous of what records.
Everything.
Every promo report Richie Houghton supported, and it just says
every release I ever had in the last 2-3 years was downloaded by Richie Houghton. He probably never played any.
None, not a single one.
Why would you download this for Richie Houghton? It's really not a Richie Houghton song, but
yeah, that's funny. But then why do we send it to Richie Houghton?
I don't know the guy. I respect the guy a lot.
Yeah, same. But he's never going to play our records. Well, you never know, to be fair. Never know.
You never know. Maybe... I can't think any record of mine he would play.
Techno. He definitely wouldn't ever play that. Dude, we've written some records, man.
I have Plastic Man's lid mats in my house, though, in Milan.
Good. So are you from Milan?
Yeah, grew up there.
Are you missing it right now? When was the last time you went back?
I can't even fly back. I can't. You can't fly to Europe. I mean, my Italian homie just managed to fly back somehow.
You could fly to England. You're allowed to fly to England.
Really?
Yeah, and then you can go from
England. My roommate's trying to fly to Ibiza. She can't. They cancel.
Yeah, she can't to Ibiza, but you can fly to... Is she American?
No.
So she can fly to England. Americans are allowed to fly to England, and then you can fly from England to somewhere else.
Not American, though.
Yeah. Because
anyway,
I was talking to MK. He's here at the moment in the UK, and he flew to the UK.
Have a UK
Stella actor twat. That's what we call it now.
The wife beater.
Wife beater. Yeah. How was 4th of July fireworks? I heard they were ridiculous.
I think I got really good recordings. I want to use them.
Dude.
Not really like the because the fireworks here, to be honest, I grew up in Italy, so they're kind of tame.
Yeah.
But you've been in my house, so you can have like a large
Yeah.
look at a lot of fireworks. And the rumble, I recorded with, where is it? Sorry, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Zoom.
god, the
Yeah.
bass.
Is it ridiculous?
Oh wow. Yeah, because it was so many that there is like a constant bass rumble going on.
Yeah.
And I have friends like who were not this year, but past years who were veterans and came to my house. They had to leave
Yeah.
because it's so intense.
Yeah.
And I think actually last year, I think Mika came because he was living still there.
Yeah. Well, I spoke
And
to Mika, aka Born Dirty, for anyone that doesn't know Born Dirty's real name.
he just put me on some manga, motherfucker. He's gonna ruin my life.
He's put you on some what?
Anime,
Oh god,
Japanese
Dude.
cartoons. I haven't looked them in 25 years, and I think he might have gotten me back into it.
Do you like just smoke a joint and get fully into it?
Yeah, at night I just like I smoke it and watch. I don't smoke during the day. It's not a rule for everyone. It's also it's not that you can smoke. Everybody can smoke during the day.
You can't
Just
though.
Public announcement. No, I could before, not anymore.
You just drink in the day. Drink all day, smoke all night.
Yeah, I have. I'm on a 4 Stella, but never after dinner.
No. It's like when those people say like I don't drink coffee after like 1 p.m.
Because coffee doesn't keep me awake.
Because it gets but you're Italian. Like you were like given like espressos for like nighttime dinner. Like it's just a thing.
Yeah. I mean, coffee, it's kind of tame for me, but some people, some people can't even drink tea after 5.
Yeah, my parents they drink decaf pretty much all day.
That's the thing. There's no rule. Don't listen to anyone. Listen to yourself. Listen to your body, and don't believe anything anybody said about their consumption of anything.
Do what makes you happy.
No rules. The only rule is how it works for you, and in moderation is always a good idea.
Moderation is key. Let's be honest, especially during these weird times. But
yeah, a lot of people. Anyway,
have you been writing much music?
No.
To
be honest, I'm a hater of. Sorry for that. Of people say like I'm not inspired.
Yeah.
I need inspiration. I'm just like show up every day and just work.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at some point it will click. That's what I did every day. Unfortunately, not so productive this period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is. I was talking to Ryan earlier about this actually, and the last 2 weeks, because I'm very much the same mindset as you. Is like, I don't really believe in writer's block. I believe in just getting in the studio and just writing, and.
But blessed, that's our job.
Yeah, but for me, I've been trying to work out because the last couple of weeks has been like really dry in the studio for me, and it's like I've not woken up and been like, oh, I can't wait to get in the studio. It's just not been there. And then I was like thinking, like I was really lucky. Like from New Year's Eve up until like March the 12th, I've been touring, and I had the Open to Close tour. So I was touring like 3 days a week, like long sets. And then during the week, I was also writing all week. And then I got back to the UK in lockdown and literally just wrote. Like, I've written so much music in the last 3 months on like, I've probably written like 3 albums worth of music.
Whoa.
And in the last 2 weeks, I've been like kicking myself because I haven't written really anything. I've done like a couple of remixes here and there, but then I'm like, you know what, Will? Like you've just done like nearly 7 months of like solid work without a single break. Like I haven't taken a week off. I haven't taken any time off. And I'm like,
Yeah, there's no time off.
yeah, zero. And even when you like have like a day where you're not in the studio, it's still not time off because like I'm like always thinking and like your brain's always on. And
yeah, that you're way more than me. You remind me of Riva Star.
yeah,
You guys are always fucking like
yeah, always. It's
fucking.
crazy. But
I feel that with music, I feel that 1,000%.
I think like this, as of tomorrow, I think I'm gonna be like, tomorrow it's Friday, it's Thursday now. People that's listening, this will go out on the Tuesday, but it's Thursday now. So tomorrow being the weekend, I think I'm gonna take like 4 days and just try and just not go in the studio for 4 days, and then just see how I feel. I might even do a week.
Wow.
Just like, I haven't done it. I don't think I've ever taken like a full on week off.
You know, I hate to admit it. Maybe there's something good about it.
Not taking a week off?
Not taking it.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it because I'm a hater of taking time off.
Same.
But sometimes maybe, but very selectively. I think it's not a common thing. It happens every few years.
Yeah.
When that happens, okay, embrace it. Take some time off.
Yeah,
but it's not like every 2 months or have a writer's block.
Nah.
Just show up at work.
Just fucking put time in. Just fucking get in. But
also, you're lucky. Your job, you can do as your job, daytime job, making music. I must say, just show up to the studio, maybe. You know, what are you gonna be like? Oh, let me go by the beach and find inspiration.
I don't know.
You're lucky that.
Yeah, when I was not full-time music, when I used to work for my parents in the rehab. I was like harder on myself then. I worked even harder in the studio. I literally I would wake up at 7 a.m. I would get into work for 7:30, 8 a.m, and I'd leave at 6. And then I'd get home.
Wow, a full day.
Yeah,
you were doing a full day.
Yeah, I'd get home, go to the gym, have dinner, and then I'd get in the studio from like 9 till 1 in the morning. 9 p.m. till 1. And just I did that. Did that 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and then on the other days where I wasn't working, I would just work like 9 to 5 in the studio, and just treat it like a job.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only way I've got to a level where I could probably say I'm okay now. I'm not nowhere near as where I want to be, but I'm okay now. If you know what I mean, I can write a record. That.
I wasn't as hardcore as you, but at some point, I was doing music. I was getting older. I was in college, and my father was like, "Yeah, okay,
yeah,
you're gonna have to work now." I was like,
"Yeah,
your results are not really like speaking for yourself." I'm like, "Fair enough." Horrible time of my life, but then I got a part-time job, so I was like 8 to 2 p.m.
Nice.
But that actually, like, I thought my life was over.
Yeah.
Time, a very bad time. But that really made me like, when I got home, I'm like, I'm gonna have this fucking work.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language. I don't know if
you're allowed to
swear.
It's fine.
I'm gonna have this really work, and that's when it actually started working.
See, this is interesting. This is an interesting conversation because I did an interview, and don't quote me on who this was. I think it was for like Mix Mag, or it was like for something, maybe like Forbes.
Rest in peace.
Sorry?
I was saying rest in peace, the paper version of Mix Mag.
Is it stopped?
They just last week.
Shit.
I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They laid off few people. It's no money, I guess.
Fuck.
But respect. I had so many Mix Mags in paper. It's gonna be online.
Okay.
still, but no more paper, I think.
It's not the same though, is it?
I like the paper, but I guess we're old.
Same. Yeah. True.
Ish. I'm
Ish.
older.
But so I did this
Anyway,
interview. I can't remember what it was for, but it kind of was like a question where I knew what they wanted me to say. It was like the question was, what do you feel about artists giving up everything to be to do their craft? So like giving up all work, giving up everything. Or like how did you get to the point? It was I can't fully remember. And my response was like, I think every artist should actually work on top of doing their art, because then it allows you to be financially secure. It allows you to invest money into your career. It allows you to put yourself in a situation where you don't actually have to rely on your artist career, and you don't have to make wrong artistical decisions so that you can just earn money. And they didn't write it. They didn't release it because it was almost like they wanted me to be like, yeah, quit everything and do all of this and do all of that. And I was just like, I don't like that, because it's not real world.
No, that's like just like pretty much. I'm sorry, I don't want to get too political, but it's just kind of like you have to be privileged to do that,
Yeah.
and and it's great. A lot of kids who grew up in privileged situations or with parents who could support them are freaking great artists.
Yeah.
And there's no surprise. But that's like what we were talking before about, when did people starting to be like really having a Leonardo? When could Leonardo da Vinci happen? Only when the Medici could pay for his life.
Yeah.
So it's also like a way to say art as a way. I don't want to get too political.
No,
but
get political,
it's more
man.
democratic.
Say
It's a more
say
democratic. It's more democratic. You don't need to have like your parents being rich to support you, and it's not really like it's just like work for your art, and it's not really like a crazy struggle. Just
what?
I completely agree. Yeah, just have a day job that pays your bills.
Yeah.
And then you become an artist.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you never worked a day job and your parents can pay for your nowadays fancy production school and all, it can work, and it does work, but maybe you're missing out on when it doesn't work in a way. You just like have a one approach, and you don't have a real it's kind of, I'm sorry, I'm gonna rephrase it. Like when I see people who just like get into these schools and it's all paid for, the drive is not very interesting. There's not interesting output. That's the problem.
Well, I think
don't think the struggle has to make it something. You kind of have to work yourself to get into that place to be interesting. Otherwise, for some reason, I find it's not very interesting.
Well, I think it's like any craft, right? It's when you get to a point where you're earning money from your craft, from what you love, from your passion, people only see the end product, right? And the end product is that you playing in front of thousands of people, you having millions of downloads and streams and doing whatever, and have loads of likes and comments on your Instagram and doing all of that. People only see the end product. They don't see the 10 years of sweating, crying, working out what the fuck to do, trying to like go in different directions to make things work, getting frustrated, having no money in your bank account, trying to pay your rent. Like no one sees any of that. And I think if you don't have the ethics as a person to work your fucking ass off, you're not gonna ever succeed in I can say this in pretty much any artistical career, unless you are so fucking good as an artist that you're so good that people cannot ignore you because you're so good.
But that's a lucky. That's just luck.
Yeah.
You're not really like you say you're so good. Usually you're not. Well, either you have a special talent, but you're just doing the right thing at the right time,
Yeah.
and it's a bit luck. And you shouldn't confuse that with being good.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a genius. It doesn't mean you're the best artist around. It means you did the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
Which even like with my previous project, I think I had a really good experience with that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the best song we did. I don't think it was the most original stuff that was out there. But it was really the right timing.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay, let's talk about
Perfect
that.
timing.
Let's talk about that because, and I like, obviously I know about your history and I don't know if many people do, but you used to be part of Crookers. Crookers, was it around 2008? 2000, when was it that At Night came out?
I think, Day Night was 2008 in the UK.
Day and Night, yeah.
January 2009.
So like, if anybody knows,
2009, January 2009. Yeah.
So if anyone knows the Crookers remix of Day and Night with, oh my God, who was it? What was the original artist? Kid Cudi. So that was you, right? And that, I don't know, like that was unbelievably big. To another level, that record was unbelievably big.
But yes, and that taught me all the lessons about that kind of thing because we did it a year plus earlier than when it went big.
Yeah.
And it was not received as a big record.
Yeah.
When we did it. We did it for free. We didn't even get money. So, and it was a MySpace thing. It was a free download, and then Ministry of Sound UK bought it.
Yeah.
From Fool's Gold. Shout out A-Track.
Big up A-Track.
And respect, that guy is so real. For real. But anyway, they bought it. It was a free download on their blog, and then it got big later. But I think that was like, it was the perfect timing. That taught me, I think, when we first played that song, it bombed so bad because we played it after hours in Italy at 4 a.m. And I'm like, let's never play this song ever again. Let's forget about it.
Yeah.
It's horrible because it had too many vocals.
Yeah.
And then it just grew on the blog and got big. But I think we didn't think much about it.
Yeah.
Nobody did when we did it. But that taught me, that's also something about music that it's not even you. It's you do something at the right time, at the right moment, with the right kind of sounds. It just takes off. So I'm not gonna go to California hippie, but you're a bit of a vessel of what's bound to be successful, and you sometimes it's just lucky it went through you.
Yeah.
And it's not that we thought it through. Oh, this is gonna be a hit, number one, and it became number 2 in the UK. Lady Gaga.
Dude, that's crazy, man. If you think about it, that like especially during that time, I know the UK has been amazing for house music and dance music. We always have dance records in the top 40, but that record was insane. What's it like having a record that big?
It was a weird time, because like we got always I was on the phone with Jimmy Iovine, and it was very weird
That's
because he's
crazy.
from East. Yeah, he's Italian. Yeah, he'd be on the phone just to get to want to talk to you because like, oh, this new stuff that I offended him apparently because he's from Ischia,
He's from
which
what?
is an Italian island.
Yeah.
Iovine actually is an Italian name. Is Iovine.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Iovine, which is from Naples. But
Okay.
his family, he said his family was from Ischia, which is like an island of Naples. And I'm a little, young guy, embarrassed to be with on this phone call, and there's more people on the phone calls, and I'm like, oh, Ischia, dove si canta, si beve, si fischia. I just say a saying of the island,
Yeah.
and then everything goes silent. And apparently, I offended him. I don't know
Can
why.
he not speak Italian?
Yes,
Okay.
because I pointed out that he can. But anyway, it was Long story short, I had weird, really weird experiences. The Atlantic Records guy flew us to New York just to listen to my songs on my laptop and do yoga in front of me and brag about his vinyl collection. Apparently, the guy, which is true,
Who is this guy? Come
he,
on,
he
name
has
him.
like a giant warehouse, the Atlantic Records head guy, and he's trying to do every vinyl that's ever been printed. He says it's close. Anyway,
No
that was
way.
2009. So it was a lot of like weird stuff that didn't go anywhere, and I think because of that, we actually were misled into making the wrong choices
Yeah.
at every single step.
Yeah.
So, because we thought we were like, oh, we're great, we probably know what these people don't know,
Yeah.
kind of thing, because nobody was telling us this is going to be successful, and then it was. So we thought we were like smarter.
Yeah.
Turns out we weren't. So we spent all the money and had a 20 records album. Made not a lot of sense. Had Switch mixing it just because it was our idol.
Yeah.
Don't really regret it, to be honest. And there's still some songs that I really love.
Well, I think at the end of the day, if you think about it, even though it's not what it could have been, it's where you're at now. It's gotten you to the point where you're at now, and everything. It's that thing is that everything brings you to where you are now. Like we would have
Yes,
never met if that never happened. If you know what I mean. Like you wouldn't have met your
I
partner
feel
if you know
so
what I mean.
lucky.
Like it brings. There's so many steps along the way in our careers that you don't. It's that saying, you don't have a fucking clue what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
And
That's why I'm saying hang in there.
yeah,
Everybody, please, as much as you can, hang in there. It's gonna be fine. But you really have to hang in there.
yeah,
It's not gonna be easy. And it's gonna be horrible periods for extended amount of times.
yeah,
But if you really feel it, I think, because many people I know older, I'm an older age a little bit, and a lot of people like renounce to it. I feel it's really the wrong choice.
yeah.
If just hang in there. It's not easy. And
Well, I think what happens in a lot of cases, society takes over. What society tells people to do takes over, and it's a situation where somebody gets into a relationship, they have
having kids.
kids, they get married, they have all these life expenses, and it's like that's what stops people being an artist, because this sounds awful, and we all have a lot of friends that are extremely successful artists that have wife, husbands, kids, and all of that. However, there's an extra stress to you. as an artist, you have to be selfish, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, I don't know if have you seen the Defiant ones with Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre on Netflix.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a part, I think it's in the last episode with Dr. Dre, and how he's
We're the
like,
first.
yeah, where he's saying like his family like fully understand that when he's in the studio, and he might be in the studio for a week, he might be in the studio for a month, that he might not see his family for fucking ages, like properly, like be able to see them, because he's just writing in the studio. And obviously it's Dr. Dre, so it's a bit different when it's Dr. Dre and you're earning Dr. Dre money, compared to when you're like us and you've got a family and you've got kids and everything like that. The financial situation puts pressure on us all, and there does come a point when people give up, because it's like, I've got to go get a real job. To the amount of people that I started music with, and sadly they were fucking great people, great artists, and just they wanted the materialistic things in life, and music wasn't giving them the materialistic things in life, so they had to go get a job.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if I wanted those, like,
didn't make him happy, man. Materialistic shit doesn't make anyone happy.
No, making the shit you love as a job and surviving, for me, is the most success.
Yeah.
Success for an artist is not really making it.
Yeah.
Is not having a day job, doing all day long whatever the fuck your art is.
Yeah.
And still being able to pay bills. That's for me a successful artist. And if you can get to that, which I am, and you know that it's even, after years, it's always a struggle. I don't know, I'm gonna pay rent next month, but like, fuck it, I'm figuring it out every single time. And I feel very lucky. I feel like a very lucky artist. I don't feel like, I'm struggling. But I understand, though, some people maybe who are in my situation would be like, fuck, screw this. I need more stability. I don't want to stress every month. Understand it. I can look down on that. Understand it.
Totally.
But
totally, man.
My suggestion of before was just like, maybe try to hang in there, because it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah.
It's not. And of course, maybe some people had it easier, but I think it's quite rare. I don't know. What's your experience? I don't think a lot of people who are super successful had it like easy.
Well, let's say, for instance, like Walker and Royce boys. Okay, I remember that Gav won't mind me talking about this. He wouldn't mind me. I remember I was walking down Denver. I was in Denver. I was just about to play a show like that night, or I played the night before. And I had a call from Gav, and Gav's like, I do not fucking know what the fuck to do. Like, we're at the point where we either change our name as Walker and Royce, or we quit. And I'm like, dude, this was before ITB came out. Just before ITB came out. And it was also the case of like, do we put this record out under Walker and Royce, or do we change names, or does Gav go and do it by himself, or does Sam go and do it by himself? And I was like, I didn't really know, because it was like, I don't want you to give up, but I can hear that it's so stressful for you right now. And
I feel you told me at that time.
Yeah, and I don't. Maybe it is. Maybe you've got to do what you've got to do, but hold out a month, because in a month it's going to be completely different. And the feeling that you have today is going to be different in a month. Definitely in a month. Tomorrow it might be worse. Saturday, Sunday, it might be even worse, and you might be fucking depressed as shit. However, in a month, when you've like sat back and been like, oh, okay, I've processed this in my head. And then look at Walker and Royce now. some of the most in demand artists in America.
And favorite, I see Gavin here
Yeah,
a lot, and favorite humans.
they're amazing,
Really,
amazing.
he reminded me first time we met. I didn't remember it. He reminded me that one time when in Crocus we went to
Oh
and
yeah,
did a show in New York. He was the MC.
yeah.
Like he said, like everybody wanted to be the MC, and they were like arguing. So Gavin was like, so I just took the mic and just announced it. I'm like,
Gav's the best, man. I love that guy. And I
I
remember,
mean, Gavin, they're some of my favorite people in LA who live in LA right now.
yeah,
To be honest, and it just, but that's also like I really respect Gavin and Sam too, of course, because they're really hung in there
yeah.
they're my
So
age
long, so long.
so long, and it just believe in it. And if you really want to do this, it's not like a couple year
Yeah.
thing. It's more of a decade
I
before.
remember probably,
Lucky you if you get successful soon, but it's kind of decades kind of thing.
yeah. I remember 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I was in New York with Gavin, and Gavin was DJing in um a little like bar, like a frat party bar in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg. Not as Walk and Royce, it's just as like his side hustle to earn money and
That's
pay
my
rent.
friend.
And now look at them now. And you're just like, that is the truth of hanging in there, right?
Yes, and also generous guy. I
Yeah.
gotta say.
But I think that's the thing, isn't it, as well, is like
And you too, yeah.
we
When
have
people,
we
yeah,
have
sorry.
we have people. I was talking to Born Dirty about this last night, and there's people in life. This is life. I don't think this is just industry. This is life. There's people in this world that are successful. Well, not what I'm using successful as what most people think success is, but I mean earning good money, right?
Yes.
And they are they're earning money, but in a way that is not benefiting anyone else apart from themselves. And for me, I think in our like crew of friends, I don't think there's many of us that actually want to achieve that. I think, and I can only speak for myself, is like I want to be successful so my friends can be successful with me. And I know that if I have like a hit record tomorrow, I can guarantee you who's going to be on the lineups of all my shows. And
I
that's not because I feel like I should. It's because I fucking just want all my friends around me to do really well. And yeah,
I understand that 1,000%. And even when with Crookers we were doing well, but it's about a group of friends, and you're right. I think when we were doing well, we tried to do that with some homies, and it's not talking shit about homies, but we were like, oh, let's do like the French people, they all help each other. And we got like, I don't know, GTA.
yeah,
We had to do a radio station for Grand Theft Auto, and it was like a lot of money, and like every new original song is $10,000.
yeah,
And we're like, okay, how many? And like up to 10. And we're like, okay, let's get 10 homies who are
yeah,
fucking broke
yeah,
and do songs.
yeah,
And we delivered 10 songs. In the end, they were like, we can't really pay you 100K, but they took three,
yeah,
and we have three homies.
yeah,
But I think exactly that, help your homies, because they're you before you made success. And it's not, i I hate when people think they made success because they're so much better than anyone
yeah.
else.
It's not.
There's always, of course, you had something, that clicked, and that's on you, and respect. But it's also like circumstances, and
Yeah.
help your homies,
Because
because also in a way it's also selfish. It's not even like that. It is generous, but it's also, if you create a community like that, then when you are not doing well and they are,
it'll come back.
then it comes back. It's
I
just
don't know
that.
if you had it kind of on the way up when you met people and they were kind of higher up in the success graph than you, and then you get to the point where you kind of overtake them, and then but they were a fucking dick to you on the way up. You never forget that. Never forget that.
uh the only people who were dicks, I really forgave them because it was the right reason.
Okay,
But
explain.
wait, it's like, I'm gonna just say it, like fake blood. Like,
Yeah,
he hated the fact that we were kind of like making a sound that was UK and we were from Italy.
yeah,
And then, you know, we go to Sankey's when it was still open in Manchester. I don't
yeah,
know if you remember that club,
yeah,
low
yeah,
ceilings and all.
yeah,
And and he's there like just like making a synth line scratching of just an acapella of Geht's noch from Roman
yeah, yeah,
Flugel.
yeah,
And he just sees me there, friend, like with my jaw drop.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh man. And then it's just that, the human interaction always takes over. And
yeah,
then from then on, you become friends
yeah.
because you're like, okay, we respect each other. You always have to show the respect. And that's the main thing is in person and show respect to people. And everybody will be good. And you don't need to agree with everyone. You don't need to like their music, but
Totally.
seriously, it's a subjective thing. Your taste in music. So I don't know. I get a lot of DJs who are assholes to other DJs because they don't like their music,
Yeah.
and I think that's just insanity.
Well, I think if you
But
think about it, like if you think about all of us that are like close mates, a lot of our music isn't actually similar anymore. A lot of us have all gone on different tangents and we all make different things, but we're not mates because we like each other's music or we play each other's music. We're mates because we just fucking love each other, right?
yeah, yes, I mean it's such a teenagery thing. Really, you just hang out with people who like the stuff you like.
It's fucking weird.
It is weird, and even as a teenager, it's not right, and it doesn't enrich you. It doesn't do anything good for you,
No.
really. Just hanging out with people who do the stuff you approve of. You actually want to challenge yourself all the time, and then maybe still choose to say I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
But expose yourself to stuff that you think you don't like, because that's the only way when you realize that you actually really don't like it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't expose yourself to stuff and come from a distance saying, oh, I think I really don't like it, you don't actually know. And more than that, you exclude yourself from learning anything from stuff that
Totally.
actually you don't like. But
Yeah.
there's so much, you can learn a lot of elements from stuff you don't like, and you don't have to embrace it.
Well, I think
Just take.
that's the thing about being an artist, right? Is I hate using that word artist actually because it just sounds fucking bougie. But
Everybody's an artist. Construction worker
yeah,
is an
exactly. Yeah.
artist.
Okay, if we're calling it like that, then yeah, I think
Zen. I'm being very zen. Anyway,
if you're an artist, the fuck is my mic being really weird, or
no,
is it? It's like glitching in my headphones.
oh, it's not at all.
Okay,
For,
cool.
for,
So I think if you're an artist and you aren't open-minded to other people's art, I think it kind of suffocates your own art because we live, especially now. You're a huge advocate of this, and I'm just going to bring this up as as an example, the tech house gate, right? And how there is so much copy and paste tech house, and there's so much copy and paste techno. There's so much copy and paste whatever now. But let's just use tech house because everyone talks shit on tech house. But as a genre, tech house is techno and house. And there's good and bad. There's a lot of bad, but
shit, I wish I could find the vinyl because it changed so much, tech house.
Yeah, massively compared to how it used to be. It's like it's crazy.
I found like recently, maybe it's here. Anyway, I'm not gonna do it now. No, but yeah, because like I always had problems when the genre tech house. But anyway, finish your thought because
it's I forgot what I was saying, but it was kind of like I feel like everyone has to have, not everyone, and I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but for me as an artist, it's being open-minded and going, okay, I get this. I don't love it, but I get it. And now I understand that scene kind of allows me to accept it. And if you accept it, you never you're open to it. And if you're open to something, or if I'm open to something, it allows me to be a little bit more relaxed on why it's so successful. And then it stops me from comparing myself to other people. Because I think I've learned a lot in the last, since 2018, I think, or since 2019, beginning of 2019 and end of 2018. It's like used to compare myself to a lot of artists, and especially over the last like 6 months, I've like worked out that I just want to be Will Clarke. And
no, you're already being Will Clarke for longer than 6 months.
No, but I think it takes time for me. It's taken time for me to understand where I want to take Will Clarke as an artist.
Oh, okay.
And there's still that comparison of other artists. Sometimes we all have that. I think we all have that. But I think being open to other genres, being open to other art, sitting back and actually just taking it in has allowed me to really accept who I am as an artist. I don't know if you've experienced, if you experienced anything like that?
Yes. I experience it a bit too much.
Okay. In what
I
sense?
have to get more ego. Not ego, but like I have to be more me.
Yeah.
And less taking in.
Okay.
So I, of course, understand very well the taking in part. And I think you reach a good balance because like I'm still unbalanced in that way. And I'm working on it actually. As soon as my computer comes back. But anyway, yeah, I think you have to create your own style. And of course it's built on other people's styles, and you have to compare yourself. But you have to compare yourself not in the moment you're creating. And I don't know if it's a stupid thing to say, but in the moment you're creating, don't compare yourself to anyone. Don't think what label this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Don't think what of your homies is gonna like it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And it's easier to say than to do.
Yeah.
But I think everything else, if the creative process is free from all that, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can have those thoughts afterwards, because and even if they're not completely correct, they won't affect your work.
Yeah.
It's just an afterthought, as much as when you have trouble and you think about stuff before going to bed.
Yeah.
It's not gonna affect your output. So, and maybe it's actually good to do it after.
Yeah.
We're running out of time probably.
No.
But anyway,
we're good. Keep going.
It's good to do it after.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, if I have to make a comparison and then I'm done, I can never be high making music, like smoking weed, making music. Some people really need it.
Yeah.
I make horrible music, and again, I don't really recommend the use of anything while
Yeah.
making music. Because if you can not use anything, you win, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, it works. If I smoke at night, I judge the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do, and I'm really good at judging.
Yeah.
And just find the way that works for you. That's the long story short. There's no rules, and you can't really like hold yourself. I'm trying not to be too California. I was just about to say, like, just listen to yourself, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway,
so
be real with what you like, and just be real to yourself. Listen to yourself.
yeah,
It's
man.
not really complicated.
Are you at the point with your production where you actually don't care? You like the music so much that you don't care if anyone else likes it.
I'm getting there. I am there, and that's also because I think, and in a way, to reconnect with what we were saying before about financial stability,
Yeah.
is because there's no shows, and I had to find alternative incomes. I don't
Yeah.
have to care.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a happy place.
Yeah.
I don't really actually have to care anymore, because it's not gonna depend on it. And I have a couple of projects that I'm really interested and excited about. I'm gonna send to you.
Yeah.
And I
Please
don't
do.
have to care, and it's a place of freedom. But I'm blessed that I can make some income. Sorry, I'm in other ways.
Yeah.
But that's a sweet spot to be. Yeah, no, I don't really care. What I'm doing now is it's really just what I like, and also, I've been reimagining my career for quite a few years,
Yeah.
and I just came to terms. I don't know what works.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that stuff. I'm not good at planning. A strategy, a
Yeah.
goal will make me go anywhere.
Yeah.
But if I'm blessed enough to make a living, pay rent and buy food,
Yeah.
and live in a great place, I'm just gonna keep being myself and try to go for something maybe next level.
Yeah.
Not trying to fit in. Just
Feel you,
do
man.
something that's
It's a nice realization that, and I think that for me, and I don't know if you can agree with me, but it's that kind of, it is that working on yourself as a person. And I don't want to sound too adulty and too parenty, but it's like that maturing as an artist and as a person, to the point where, for me recently, it's been like, no, I actually like the music that I'm writing so much that I don't care if Adam Bayer doesn't play it. I don't care if Pete Tong doesn't play it. I don't care if any of my peers don't like it, because I know that I believe in it so much that I know that even if somebody hears this in 10 years' time, that it's still gonna sound fucking good.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me? Like, I think, like, I read a tweet by Scream recently, and he was talking about Paul Woolford, and I think he was telling the same thing about him. Like, I really want to follow this guy steps, because he really didn't care if people didn't like, and his output was always like really prolific.
Yeah.
But he didn't really care.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm making the best music I can do, and
Yeah.
He's a real hard worker, making a lot of quality music, and I don't know, it stuck with me, and just what you just said resonated in the same exact way.
Yeah, and he let's use Paul Wolford for an example. Like, obviously, at this moment in time, he's got an insane, huge record out with Diplo, and
Yeah.
over the last few years, he's having more and more commercial success. I remember when I was 18, I used to work for We Love Space in Ibiza, and he was the resident at Space.
What year was?
2008.
Oh,
And
I went 1990.
Okay, yeah, that was when I was born,
It
mate.
was only open during the day.
Yeah, that was when I was
It
born.
was 12 to 12.
it was then, and Paul was like one of their residents, and obviously he'd still been doing it from years since then. And I think it's that progression. I've seen his career. He does know me from back then, but I've seen his career from like, even for me, like we're nearly 15 years, or like we're 12 years, and I've seen his career progress from being an extremely, insanely fucking good DJ and producing some really great underground records to now potentially probably having a top 10 hit. And he's and everything in between he's done. Purely, it's just been amazing music. And it might not be amazing music to me, it might not be amazing music to you, every record, but still, it's still amazing music. And he's gone to that point where it's really interesting with him. He's a really interesting character because he's gone from like really underground, and he's still really underground, but he also isn't. He's very far away from underground, and he's very commercial. And it's really interesting to see how he's done that, because he's got the love from the underground with his older stuff and with Special Requests, but has also got the love from the overground and gets the support from the overground because of the under. It's so amazing what he's done.
I'm not really knowledgeable, but like, does the underground support his mainstream records?
I don't know. Probably not. The underground can fuck off though. I think the leaders of the I think the leaders of the underground respect it though. And I think that's the thing.
He's like so good with underground records that even if he does something that people look down on because they're like, oh, it's mainstream, they cannot disrespect him.
And really, like, I have this conversation on nearly every podcast. What the fuck is underground?
Nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
Like, I think at every point, no, it's not. But underground to me means you're playing in front of 50 people. You don't have Instagram. You don't have anyone following you. You release vinyl only, and you don't promote your records. That, for me, that's underground. Like,
the real definition of underground should be like, you do music that was not around before, and you have an audience, and it's a small audience,
very niche,
and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's never like that. When people say underground, it's not. It's just like a version of something that's already being around.
Yeah.
Like, real underground is so rare, and people tend to try to call anything underground that's just like club music that's not like in the radio.
Yeah.
Or not on Beatport, or like a bit. Now underground is just like club music that's a little bit more obscure than what people on Twitter or socials know. That's kind of the definition now. Before, it was the 80s, it was like shit that's not on the radio. Yeah. And it's like, you either listen to the radio or it does not exist.
Yeah.
That's why underground made sense. Now, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Because
underground, by definition, the way we consume music exists.
And also, everyone. Also how we listen to music, like whether that's in a club or whether that's whatever, like I know there's illegal raves. I know there's illegal parties. Like, we all know that, or like free parties, however you want to call it. That used to be the underground, right? Like, but now it's not. you can't really get away with it that much especially in America and especially in the UK and most civilizations.
It's easy to access this, the what people try to. Um, I don't think it exists anymore in the real romantic way it
Yeah.
existed before, because I remember going my first house parties. I went. I was very young, and it was like in Milan. It was like gay fashion people.
Yeah.
It was underground, because it was music that you never heard anywhere else. Like
Yeah.
it did not exist, and it was like very difficult to even come across these parties.
Yeah.
I was lucky to be in the scene for some reason. But now when people say underground, which I kind of experienced when I was into punk rock in a way,
Yeah.
musically, and it was like mainly what they say, most people mean with underground is just music that most people don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
And that's enough for them to be underground. But that for me doesn't really. Underground should involve a scene.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, it's not on the radio, then it's underground, and then as everything. And I remember growing up with punk rock. One weird example, like Blink 182.
Yeah.
It was underground
To start with.
and then
Yeah.
it became a horrible, horrible. I don't know. I didn't like it at the time, but it became an MTV
phenomenon
thing. But that was super underground in '95. It was Fugazi, even NoFX, even Green Day was underground. All that punk rock scene was underground, and rock taught me about the underground label, that it's pretty much what people mean by that is it's not very well known.
Yeah.
That's all they mean about it.
No one's earning any money from it.
And there's that hipster, not so nice thing that it's like they love that band, and then as soon as it becomes, I remember Offspring, another punk rock band, '95, first album, loved it, went to the concert, almost died because I was 15 and
mosh pitting.
not very strong. In the mosh pit.
Yeah.
And then, in '98, they had an MTV song, and then all of a sudden they're trash.
Game over.
Or they're cool underground. So I think even to this day, what people mean with underground is just stuff that people don't know about. And as soon as they know about it, the cool first wave of people that were supporting it abandons and they're commercial.
Fuck those people.
Sorry.
Right, dude. Let's wrap it up. It's.
I told you I was going. How long are we?
10 to 1. We're only at hour and a half. To be fair, that's gone quick.
Okay.
It's 10 to 1, and I've got to be up in 3 hours to take my parents to the airport. That is not good. So, dude, before we go, let's give another shout out IO on your IO school. When is it, and how do people sign up?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do a production class with IO here in LA. It's gonna be remote on Zoom, but I'm gonna be in their offices so I can show all the like fancy plugins and stuff. And it's quite cheap. It's $40 for 5 days. It's gonna be 90 minutes per day, 60 minutes of lesson, 30 minutes of questions. Usually I kind of like go a lot longer with the questions because I like the questions. And just check it out. At Bot106, all socials of mine, at Bot106.
So
just check that. That's for any info.
That's BOT106. And the IO school, is it www.io academy?
Good question.
Let me Google this quickly. IO Academy.
Okay.
Is that it?
Gypsy King. Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't find it. IO Music Academy.
At IO Music Academy.
On Instagram at IO Music Academy. And and then their website is iomusic.academy. I'm in the link in the description. I'll put the link to the class if anyone wants to go and check it out. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the description. If you're on Spotify or Apple Music, it will be in the description link there as well. So dude, thank you so much for being on. I literally cannot wait to see you, man, when all this shit's over.
I want to come to Europe.
Dude, honestly, when you can, like, come and stay here. You're like more than welcome to stay. Just come and stay.
It's been 2 years for me.
Yeah, man. Come to the UK, stay at mine. We'll go cook some food and go to the local markets and do all of that. Keep safe. I love you, man. And I'll see you soon, all right?
Bye, man.
Take care, dude. Big love. So that is a wrap. And that was amazing. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you for listening. I love you all. Please subscribe if you want. Please share it. And I'd also love it if you could hit a little review in the bottom. That'd be amazing. It just keeps the show going. Love you all. Keep safe. See you very soon.